Everyone is shouting about the UK's plan to increase ILR from 5 years to 10 years and even 15 years. But what most people are not talking about is exemptions, meaning that not everybody would have to wait for 10 years to qualify for ILR. In fact, recently, there's even talk about more people being exempted. So let's go straight into the details of all of this and let's understand what this means for migrants, those that are going to be affected and those that are likely going to be exempted. Okay, my name is Tochi. You're welcome to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up as you're watching so YouTube can recommend it to more people. Kindly share it to everyone that needs to hear this because it's a very important update. To all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You're welcome back to this video. If you're yet to subscribe, please click the subscribe button right now. Thank you. So guys, I really don't want to bore you with all the talks on increasing ILR from 5 years to 10 years to 15 years and all of that, because I'm sure by now almost everybody knows that. Okay, the government have been talking about it. It's like it's been up for debate. A lot of debates have gone down, consultations, you know, there are so many people, thousands of people that signed the consultations that ended. There's just been a lot around it. I'm sure everybody knows exactly what's going on right now with the UK. But the interesting thing now, as published by Guardian, and we'll be looking at it quickly, is the fact that there's just been a lot of backlash even amongst the government. So some people are just fighting against it and trying to warn the government and saying, oh, don't do this, let it not affect those already in the UK. Now, the main issue here is, I think people are not really against the fact that the government wants to extend the time for ILR from 5 years to 10 years. The major concern is the fact that the government is talking about applying it retrospectively. That is for it to affect those already in the UK, which will be thousands and even millions of migrants already in the UK. And some people are saying, okay, why not consider exempting more people? So let's even look at it, okay? The list of people that they've added to the exemptions, because we already know that when the government first announced it, they released or talked about the people that will be exempted, those on spousal visa, those on Hong Kong visa, nurses and doctors. They listed, you know, some people or some categories of people that would not be affected, okay, that would still keep the 5 years. They listed all of that, and even after listing the different categories and different groups, they still went ahead to also give us new conditions that people would have to meet, and this is why they called it earned settlement, right? According to the Home Secretary, she's like, it has to be earned. In her words, she says living in the UK is not enough. If you want to get settled in the UK, you have to earn it. Now, before I continue, I'd just love to ask you a very simple question from LemFi. What if your next transfer comes with a reward? Yes, you heard that right. So if you send up to £500 or more to Nigeria from the 9th of April to 19th of April, you stand a chance of getting £100 cash back. So it's that easy. I'm going to leave the link for you to click on and fill up the form in the description of this video. Okay, feel free to click on it, and you can also use your referral code, which you will find on the app. Right, so if you're a LemFi user, you've downloaded and signed up already, feel free to send up to £500 or more to Nigeria, to your loved ones, your family, your friends. You know, the normal way you send money back home. Within 9th of April and 19th of April, you stand a chance of getting £100 cash back. Just imagine what £100 can do for you right now in this economy at this present time. It's a lot of money. So LemFi is just going to give it to you for free. So I'm going to leave the giveaway form in the description box. Just fill it up and you can thank me later. Okay, and for those who haven't downloaded LemFi, what are you waiting for? Why haven't you joined the winning team? LemFi is literally the best app right now that you can use to send money to Africa. Do that right now and thank me later. Don't forget that the form will be in the description box. So guys, back to the video. Ministers working with Labour backbenchers to temper Mahmoud immigration plans. Of course, I already gave a summary of the plans that they have and everything that they have said so far for those who might not know, even though I'm sure almost everybody knows, but let's not assume that everybody knows, you know. So A number of ministers concerned about Shabana Mahmoud's immigration changes are working behind the scenes with backbenchers to secure more exemptions, The Guardian has learned. Right now, more exemptions to the ones that have already been listed, the ones that we already know. So Keir Starmer is consulting on the proposed changes. Keir Starmer is the Prime Minister, and which would make it harder to achieve settled status in the UK, and is under pressure from within his own party to say the measure should not apply to people who have already entered the UK. I've tried to establish this already at the beginning of my video, you know. Now, under the plans, most people would have to wait 10 years, which we already know, to qualify for indefinite leave to remain, rather than the existing 5-year period. So The Guardian revealed that Starmer is already looking at whether to exclude migrants working in the public sector from the changes. So they're saying, are they going to include all the workers in public sector or some people in the public sector, as well as those who are on the verge of being settled? So now the response here from what we have seen is not that, oh, we're not going to do that, we're going to leave everybody. No, he's saying that we might consider exempting those who are very close to settlement. So, and now the very close to settlements, the question we'll now ask is, how close? Is it those that have 2 to 3 months to go before the rule comes into effect, or those that have 1 year to go, or those that have 2 years to go? Because if you have 2 years to go, it's safe to say that you are close to getting ILR. You get what I mean? In fact, somebody who's even 3 years to go can say he's close to getting ILR, because at that point, you're literally counting down. Guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. These are the questions that we can ask as well, because this thing is something that affects, or that would affect, so many migrants. So we already know that this may not be a general rule, because obviously it's not going to apply to everybody. The government have made that clear from day one, that some people are definitely going to be exempted. So these are the things they've added, and they're talking about following the backlash that they've had from members of their own party. It's not even outside that. We know that members of the public have talked, they've debated, opposition party, everybody have given their own opinion and their thoughts about this, you know. But at this point, it's no longer those that are outside, it's now internal. It's now, oh, within us, this might affect us, this might affect our chances of coming up again. You know, a lot of things are just going on behind the scenes. And another thing we must understand, that these are still plans. Like they said, consultation have closed already, right? They've now gone back to look at it, to now come back to give us what their final verdict or their final decision on this matter is. But I just thought to share with you guys to see what's going on, because this is very new, it's just recent, to see what's going on, what to expect. Because when you know what's going on, what's happening behind the scenes, you know exactly, or you have an idea on what to expect, you get. And then the essence of this publication obviously is for us to read it and understand what's going on. That's why we have news channels, we have the media, people that tell us what's going on in the world. It's for everybody to just read or listen to the news and stay updated. And this is why I'm here for you. If you don't have the time to go and read about it, I'm going to read it up for you, and I'm going to tell you about it. You must stay updated, whether you like it or not. Moving on, however, the Prime Minister is still being urged to go further if he wants to avoid widespread anger of the backbenchers, right? The main demand by Labour opponents of the proposal is that the government exempts people who have already arrived in the UK, as suggested by the former Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and others. So if you read this, you will see that they're just going back and forth with their thoughts. So some people are for it, some people are against it, and for some others, they are trying to also say, okay, if you really want to do this, how about you consider just being fair a little? So for that big question of will I be affected, the honest answer to that question is we don't know. Nobody knows. Maybe the government already knows what they want to do, I don't know. But for us, from watching from this side, nobody truly knows right? Exactly what the government has in mind until they tell us, of course. But the most important thing is following the news and everything that is going on, and you see why it's good to stay updated. Most important thing from what the government have told us and from everything going on that we have seen is that not everybody will be affected, okay? Some people are definitely going to be exempted from the general 10 years or 15 years rule. Some people are still going to get ILR after 5 years. Some are then going to get ILR in 7 years, after 7 years time. Some are going to get it in 10 years. Some are going to get it in 15 years. Some are going to get it in 20 years, after 20 years or more. So you see, it's now going to be different for everybody. That's what the government is just trying to say. It's not going to be the same anymore. You know, right now, we all know that, oh, you're a skilled worker visa, you get to 5 years, you can apply for your ILR and everything. Everybody, that applies to everybody. But now, it's not going to be the same anymore. It's going to, as I saw this, I just thought to share for everyone to know that they are talking about, you know, they're talking about exempting more people. We already know the ones that have been listed already that will be exempted, but there's now talks about adding more exemptions, okay? More people to the exemption list. So it is safe now to say that the government is not necessarily stopping people from settling in the UK. They're just delaying it, right? And I think that is just the main focus, or that is just the main objective of all of these things, to delay it. Because if you listen to when the Home Secretary was talking about this, she mentioned that a lot of people are going to qualify for ILR in the next 2 to 3 years, thereby accessing public funds, okay? You know, getting benefits and everything. And they just feel like, oh, the system cannot contain this number of people, this huge number of people. So they want to literally just delay it and make it tougher, make it harder, because they've calculated the number of people that will get. The numbers are there. If you go through that white paper, if you go through all the proposals and everywhere they talked about these changes and these plans, you will see the huge numbers they wrote down, millions of people. For care workers, they say there are over 600 and something thousand care workers. They have their numbers, they have the records, the data, statistics, everything is there. And most times, this is what they work on. They make their decisions based on this data, this number. And now they're also proposing that after getting indefinite leave to remain, you would still not qualify for benefits until you become a British citizen. So what they are trying to do right now is come to the UK. We're not saying don't come, even though they've made things tighter, but they're saying come, work, stay longer, prove more, then maybe settle. So I use the word maybe here because obviously what they're trying to do is to slow down settlement. So that's what is going on, and it just feels, it's so painful because we know that there's so much that you can do on a visa. You know, you're not fully settled until you get ILR, right? So it means more visa renewals, more IHS fees, more money spent. You're being tied to an employer. There's the risk of exploitation at work. You know, all of that. Like, we all know that this is what a lot of people have to consider right now, to say that if it takes longer, because this is what a lot of people have to have at the back of their mind. And that's why we are fighting against it or talking against it, because it's just so much uncertainty for that long. You get, because you're not fully set, you're not fully relaxed until you get ILR as an immigrant in any country, and that is the truth, right? So that is it for today's video. I'm just sharing this not to create panic, no, not at all, because guys already know what's going on. So it's just for us to stay informed. Like I said, if you know what's going on, it would help you make well-informed decisions. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section. We've come to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.